To become the person you want, you must destroy the person you are. That's a quote probably a lot of you have heard before. But what does it really mean? And I'm going to break it down. How I feel about it, at least. So, in order to become the person you want to become, you have to destroy the person you currently are. But who are you and who do you want to become? What values do you currently have compared to the person you want to become? What habits differentiates these two people? Because you already are the person you want to become. The only difference is the world you create around you. So, it's obviously a metaphor, right? Because you can't really destroy yourself like that. That's counterproductive. Because if you destroy yourself, like both mentally and physically, like in some way, maybe, like with training, if you want to become bigger, you kind of have to destroy yourself at the gym. But at the same time, it's equally, or maybe even more important, to recover, right? And heal. So, yeah, but you need to find out which values the person you want to become have and which habits that person implies in his life. So, in order to become the person you want, you must change up your habits to the habits of the person you want to become, and same with your values and your actions. I think that's the three core elements of describing this metaphor and just in general to become the person you want to become. So focus on creating good habits, creating good values, and taking good actions. And good habits is like it's subjective, right? It depends on what you want to do. If you want to become a bodybuilder, you need to recover, as I talked about. So focus on your sleep. You gotta eat at a consistent basis. You gotta have a consistent meal plan and eat at consistently time periods of the day as well. Let's say we have 5 meals. I have that. I eat at about 3 hour intervals. So I eat at about the exact same time every day. Like, if it's plus minus 30 minutes, it's not the end of the world, but like, I try to avoid to let it get more than 30 minutes. But you have to do that, and then you have to, of course, focus on your workouts, working out hard, but most importantly, doing and nailing the basics, like technique and intensity. That's like the two driving factors of having a good workout, right? And growing. But you also need to kind of progressive overload. But I'm not gonna. This is not a gym channel, right? I'm not gonna get too deeply into that. That's some of the habits you gotta change. Focus on your sleep, diet, and workout. Like, you actually have to work out and create the discipline of a person that works out. You don't even have to do bodybuilding. You can do powerlifting. You can do just casual lifting, right? But if you want to get the most out of it, you still need to focus on your sleep, diet, and workout. Because you can always improve. And let's say you want to become an artist, right? You need to set off certain time in a day, let's say an hour, where you just sit down and learn something new about what you want to do. This kind of applies to anything, honestly. It doesn't have to be music or anything like that. It could be painting. It could be coding. It could be anything, right? But set up some time every day where you study to improve your knowledge towards the skill you want to kind of utilize to um, into a career, right? But that's the habits. What are some values that you can adapt into your life? My core values is helping others. And a big portion of my life, I set other people in front of myself. Which to an extent is good, but it can also become very destructive. Because it came to a point where I didn't focus on myself at all. So I kind of stagnated or even went backwards in life just to see other people succeed and excel. But then again, when I try to focus more on myself, my focus shifted too much onto myself. So I started to neglect helping other people. And I became very selfish in my actions. And I still kind of struggle with that because I feel like it's harder to get out of, but it's no excuse. And I feel like everyone should always help others where it's possible. And that's one of my core values. Number 2 is discipline. Always have discipline. And it is hard. Like, it's my value, but it's not something I can always live up to. I try my best, and it is hard, right? I've always struggled with mental stuff. I've been a weak motherfucker. I'm still weaker than I want to be, but I've become so much stronger than I was just a couple of years ago, right? I've become so much stronger than I was. And when I look back at it, I feel strong, but at the same time I feel weak when I look forward, because I know I have such a long way to go. But that's also something I strive to do, like always stay strong and disciplined. But as I said, it's hard, and you shouldn't beat yourself up if you kind of fall off a day. Because why do we fall? To learn how to get back up, right? So every time you fall off, if it's your diet, if you skip a training because you are sore or tired, get back at it the next day. Don't have another rest day the next day. Of course, unless you're super sick and have fever. But that's the only kind of excuse, right? And of course, life happens. But if it's only mental, if it's you deciding not to do the thing you know you need to do in order to grow into the person you want to become, you have failed that day. But you haven't failed forever. And last but not least was actions. And that kind of transitions over from what I just talked about. Always taking action. Don't overthink it. Just do it. The more you stand there and overthink something, like I talked about in my other video, the more you stand and think about going up to someone and give them a compliment, or just if you want to talk to them, the less you are likely to do it. Just like jumping in the water. If you want to overcome the fear of the ocean, for example, or just jumping in the water in general, because it's uncomfortable. So if you're just standing on the edge and look at the water, the longer you stand there without jumping, the less likely you are to jump at all. I practice this because I have a big fear of jumping in the water. I can't really explain why. I think it's because it's unknown, right? I don't know what's hiding under there. It could be more shallow than I think it is. It could be some unknown creature, right? Because I have a good imagination and I'm a creative guy. That can also be kind of destroying. So the more I stand there and think, the more I know that I will not jump. So don't even count. Just decide that this is the moment you are going to jump, and you jump. And that can be used as a metaphor for anything in life. Taking action into building a business, starting it, going to the gym. Start today. Start at this exact moment. If you can't go to the gym, go on YouTube and just do some research. Go on Google. Like, you have so many tools around you to start learning. But somehow, all you do is talk. All you do is talk about what you want to do, how you want to do it, but you don't do it. You want to know why? Because we are addicted to dreaming. We are addicted to the thought of success. I know I am, but I'm making a change. Because I know that if I just keep sitting around in my own thoughts, getting the small hits of dopamine every time I watch a David Goggins video, or just think about the life I know that I'm going to have one day. I won't have that life if I don't put in the work, if I don't take action on the thoughts that I have. I have so many ideas every single day that don't come to life because I don't take action on it. And I need to get better on that. And so do you. So remember, to become the person you want, you must destroy the person you are. And to destroy the person you are, you must change your habits, your values, and your actions. And you will become the person you want.